My name is Cole West, originally from Johnstown, which is just about 30 minutes north of here. Growing up was a little rough in certain ways and grateful in others. When I was about 7 or 8, my parents got divorced. Getting parents divorced at such a young age is, not something I would highly recommend, especially when it doesn't end up very pretty. Having to watch one of your parents kind of walk out, essentially, and not knowing whether or not they're coming back or if they're coming back. Luckily they did. But either way, it kind of scares you at such a young age to kind of grow up when I feel like you shouldn't have to. It kind of takes the whole fun of being a kid out of it when you're, scared. And because of the divorce, it kind of, obviously it impacts everybody. I feel like it definitely impacted my family more than it did me. My brother started going down the wrong path with some wrong friends all the way up through high school. My mom picked up 2 extra jobs, so she was working 3 full-time jobs. When she was home, we made the most of it, but that's when she was home. My dad kind of picked up a drinking problem about until he met my stepmom. So again, growing up with all these different emotions and trying to counteract, going from one house one week to another house the next week kind of, plays a toll, especially when you're kind of living out of a suitcase for the most part of it. And I couldn't be more proud of where they've all become. My mom and dad both got remarried to obviously different people. Mom ended up moving down to Thornton, where we're still at now. And my dad found a new wife that ended up moving in with him. And again, because of what happened, I couldn't be more proud of where they're at. My mom is a successful, hairstylist. My dad is completely cold turkey, drinking, smoking, nicotine, you name it. Again, I couldn't be more proud. A lot of it came from sports and music. Those were kind of my 2 big getaways. Music has always been kind of a big part of my life, especially with my mom in it. She's probably one of the best singers I've ever had the pleasure of listening to. And then obviously sports, growing up, played 3 different sports until I got to high school and then focused on basketball. So those were kind of my main getaways, because there's always something going on, whether it's practice or choir or whatever. Something was always kind of like a little getaway, out of the house, so to speak. Having to grow up a little too fast, kind of putting all the weight on me and kind of, taking my own route, getting out of it. So I kind of leaned more on sports and music. Then it was fine. Looking back on it now, it hurts a little bit, just because I wasn't present in the moment. I can remember the biggest memory from when they first got divorced was Christmas. Again, my dad started picking up a drinking problem, and my mom was working 3 full-time jobs. And so we started off the morning at my dad's house, and I remember waking up and we got a pair of shorts and a water bottle, which was fine. As a little kid, you don't really, it is what it is. Kind of, as a little kid, you kind of want more, but it is what it is. And you go to my mom's house later that day, and because she works so hard, there's all these presents under the tree. And I just remember, I can't imagine the look on my face, in shock, oh my God, there's so many presents. But looking back on it now, I can't imagine the look on my dad's face. And that's, it hurts to think about, It was mainly after high school. Because mainly in high school, I was known as either Cody's brother or Darcy's kid. Because again, my mom was a hairstylist, so she cut everybody's hair, and then my brother had a kind of a bad reputation around school, so they kind of associated that with me. So kind of struggling to find who I was, kind of led to some bad habits. And then after high school, moving out, moving back in with my mom, and even going to Kansas for a little bit, kind of helped me figure out, who I'm meant to be, hanging around a better group of kids, finding some old friends from high school that kind of pushed me to go to church more. And honestly, I think that was the moment where something changed or had to change. And I feel like it wasn't in my control at that point. It kind of just had to happen. That was right about when district started. As of 5 months ago, I am sober of nicotine and weed, which is pretty sweet. Working on my self-confidence, I struggle with that a lot. Be there for other people, be a better person. And through God and even district, they kind of pulled me out of that, the old habits, and kind of pushed me to be the man that God wants me to be, and ultimately the man that I want to be. No matter what hard times you have, there's always something that you can do to or someone you can talk to rather, to get through it. Like for example, the divorce was always hard because I think that's why me and my brother aren't super close, is because we both kind of exited ourselves in different paths in life. And I just want to be able to, anybody that's going through hard times in life, whether it's a divorce or, financial issues or, bad habits that you're trying to break. I've been through it twice with divorce and many times with trying to, cold turkey. So being able to talk to somebody about it and kind of share that there's a way out, and sometimes that way may only be through God, and kind of giving yourself up in a way that you never thought you could. It's kind of the aroma I want to put off, I guess, for lack of better words. A family has been my number one goal since I was 7 or 8. So all I've really known is kind of a broken family. And I haven't really, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't change anything the way it is, but I've never strived for anything more than to have an actual family that, is we're so close-knit, the kids like each other. I don't want to get a divorce. I want nothing to do with it. I don't even want to talk about it. So a family is where I want to be in the next 10 years. And I want to be able to, now especially, I want to be able to bring my kids up into the, church and kind of, be the role model in the, in the house that, you gotta, the religious role model, I guess, I don't know how else to put it.